Welcome, YWC gamblers, to another card game hosted by me, the Wrestling Shuffler. The main reason I'm doing this video is because it's for the same reason that I joined this card game, joined this YouTube thing. Because more than just making videos and getting some attention, I like to talk about wrestling. I like to interact, to play around with people that love wrestling. And I'm not just meaning talk to a camera, that's boring. Most of you do that, and I'm not a big fan. Although some guys really pull it off, but I feel that just talking to a camera gets pretty boring. Although I make shout out to most of those guys, I don't watch all of that. I just see for what it was that you're all really good. You deserve enough attention and some more attention to you due to the work and time you put it compared to other big time guys who don't have that much talent, or they had better luck, I guess. Now, in this very first game, I'm gonna play my cards about what indie wrestling companies has done to the wrestling in the WWE in the 21st century. And I'm going to challenge a guy in the YWC. And the first guy I'm gonna challenge, I saw your profile, I saw your description. It seems that you're a really fun guy and you like to talk about wrestling. In fact, you mentioned in your description that, hey, if you want to talk wrestling, no spam, hit me on Facebook. And that guy is Scorp18talkswrestlin. I got a challenge for you, friend, and that is, what are your cards or game thoughts about what the indie role has been since the territories have left in the wrestling industry in the 21st century? Right now, I'm gonna start. Okay, the first card I'm gonna draw is the Ace of Spades, the Broken Heart. Many fans were heartbroken, especially after WCW closed. Many people feel that most stars who developed in that big time company suddenly lost their chance. And since the territories are now gone, people were disenfranchised, and WWE was the only game in town. So therefore, being the only game in town and not have much worries, they adopted the Club King type of mentality by Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon pushed only guys that were closer to him, that he's sure he wouldn't leave, or guys with the WWE look, as it called. So they adopted the territory mentality. They played safe because there's no competition for them anymore. And the only guys you see that were only the look didn't have that much of a wrestling background or substance. Especially to 2002, 2005 with guys like Triple H and Randy Orton's and Batistas and stuff. So, next, around 2006 to 2011, we started to have our first big ROH indie star. That was CM Punk, that he played the club's Jack compared to the guys. I feel that he plays the club Jack because he was a bit of a prototype for the Cenas and Ortons and the Triple H's. He was the first really, in my thought, indie guy to be tested, to be, let's see what this guy can do. He's bringing up the volume, and although his background and all that, he seems to really have some skills. But he never quite reached that top. He was playing second filler to other guys. Probably a main event for the mid card, although being 345 or 40 thing called champion. But CM Punk he was the first major big indie star in the WWE, I think, but he was a bit of a prototype in my view. And the second biggest star, a much higher star, was Daniel Bryan. And I put in as the Ace of Hearts because is the most cheered guy right now. The most cheered guy in the babyface role, and he is technically in main event at WrestleMania. He's a world champion, and he has reached further steps as an indie star, or to have a background of an indie star. He's reached higher than a CM Punk, and so I consider him to be a background indie star that reached the top. And not to mention the 3 stars that are being built in the main event right now, that is The Shield, especially Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. That Seth Rollins was an ROH, I believe. Although Roman Reigns was lineage to The Rock and all of that, but Dean Ambrose played in CZW. Another kind of indies. Those 2 guys, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, played the indie circuit a little bit in order to develop themselves. Unlike the guys at the beginning of the millennium, these 2 guys have a similar background, at rough edges, got rid, like territorial superstars used to have before they reached the big time, but in a different level. And finally, this Jack of Hearts belongs to Luke Harper. I played Luke Harper in this because I feel that Luke Harper, since he was with CZW, with Dean Ambrose, he has that kind of indie star background, and he has a star associated with Bray Wyatt. You see, Eric Rowan he doesn't get that much attention besides wearing the mask. The second guy with most presence, and the second or the third hardest staple, that is the Wyatts. Beside Bray Wyatt, the indie guy, that's Luke Harper. That's also being featured as a star. So I feel that since the biggest indie stars, or the biggest stars in the WWE right now, have mostly an indie background, I feel that in some way, in a different way, indie wrestling has filled a little bit of a role that the territories used to do in the 20th century. So I feel that the indie companies should be treated a lot better than, and WWE recognizes with ROH, in some article. So I feel that in some way, the indie promotions are kind of the territories in the 21st century of the WWE and to the wrestling industry. So, this is my cards. Scorp18 Talks Wrestling. This is my cards. I'm gonna end my turn. Now I expect you to, in a video response, if you see this, to play your cards about or some other type of game about this topic. This is my turn. I'm finished. I'm waiting for you to step up and respond to me with your own cards and your own thoughts. This is my video. I'm the Wrestling Shuffler. Scorp18 Talks Wrestling. See you next round!